oh, it's a lovely war. It's a lovely war. Oh, to be a soldier, eh? Oh, it's a shame to take the pain. As soon as rebellion's gone, we feel just as heavy as lead. But we never get up to the sergeant brings the breakfast up to bed. Oh, 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 it's a lovely war. Oh, what do we want with eggs and ham when we got plum and apple?
The Army and the Navy need attention. The position isn't healthy, you'll admit. But I'm the perfect dream of a new recruiting scheme, which I believe is absolutely it. If only other girls would do as I do, I believe that we could manage it alone. For I turn all suitors from me, but the sailor and the Tommy, and I've an army and a navy of my own. On Sunday, I walk out with a soldier. On Monday, I'm taken by a tar. On Tuesday, I'm out with a baby Boy Scout. On Wednesday, no, huzzah. On Thursday, I gang out with a Scotty. On Friday, captain of the crew. But on Saturday I'm willing, if you'll only take the shilling, to make a man of any one of you.
Just your sister to arrive, just when we've made a cup of tea.
Come on in, and don't take any notice of Fred.
Oh, it's a real treat to visit you here in the country. You have no idea how hard it is to live in the city.
I wouldn't call Dudley a city.
Fred, compared to living here in the
counter. There's hardly anything left.
Oh, you know we'd always see you and Albert right for food. Fred's small quantity here is doing well. And we've always got stuff left over.
No, no. All my crop is accounted for, Mabel. You know that. The government keeps the watch on everything I grow, and it all has to go to market. And this area is becoming very important now in speaking the truth.
The Lenches becoming important. Why would that be?
Plums.
Don't tell me they're going to send plum jerkin out to the front line soldiers.
Well, maybe they should send some to the German soldiers. And then they'd be so drunk, we certainly would win the war.
It's no laughing matter, ladies. Plums from Evesham and Pershaw have been made into jam. And tons of the stuff is being shipped out to our boys. It gives them a little taste of home, and it helps to keep up their spirits.
Don't worry yourself, Fred, on giving me any of your plums or anything else from here. If Albert and I get our allotment, we'll be able to grow our own plums.
Dora.
Who is Dora?
Dora, Defence of the Realm Act. I've just been reading about it in the paper.
It's Lloyd George has came up with the idea. Cities now have got to free up land so that folk can grow their own food. I love it. I've always wanted my own garden. Good job, really, because Fred says on the next call up, he's off to the front.
I suppose they are getting a bit desperate now.
I shall ignore that remark, Fred. Very great, was it?
Tell me, what do you think you'd be able to grow in your allotment?
Well, veg mostly, anything but flowers. You can't eat flowers.
Are the food shortages that bad?
You have no idea.
Yes, since the Germans have been using submarines to sink our ships. We have to grow all our own food, but it takes time. You can't plant a seed one week and get a meal off it the next.
We used to have a lovely park by us with a wonderful rose garden, but now it's all been dug up to plant potatoes.
Oh, that seems a shame.
No, it's not. Parks can always be replanted when the war's over, of course.
The Germans intend to starve us all into surrender.
Never. Exactly. Me and my neighbour's got it all planned. She's going to grow one crop, I'm going to grow another, and then we'll swap.
Oh, it all sounds very organised.
It has to be, Mabel. We're not going to let these Germans starve us into all giving up. If we want victory, we're going to have to dig for it.
You know, Kitty, you and I don't agree on much. But on this, you're right. So I shall drink a toast to you city dwellers and your allotments. In fact, ladies, let's all drink to allotments. Allotments!
the girl that makes the thing that drills, the hole that holds, the ring that drives, the rod that turns the knob, that works the thingamabob. And the girl that makes the thing that holds, the oil that oils, the ring that takes, the shank that moves, the crank that works the thingamabob.
Right, Miss Prism, before we clear off, I think we'll have a look at the latest batch of inventions.
So,
let's start with the successes, shall we, assuming we've got some of those.
very good, sir. Well, we have the gauntlet dagger, and then there's the clinch club. Oh, the Liverpool observation ladder. Yes, indeed. Oh, the flechette.
The flechette? Remind me, Miss Prism.
Ah, darts, sir. Darts thrown from aircraft to disrupt cavalry formation below.
Well, wonders will never cease.
Cease. Yes, cease. I'm afraid they did, sir. Cease. Cease, sir.
Oh, Lord. Tell me the worst.
Well, sir, we have the human observation kite.
Didn't take all.
No, sir, it didn't. Oh, and then man over bed. That is, sir, using mattresses instead of life jackets.
Sunk without trace?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, the Eiffel Tower Parrot Battalion Air Raid Early Warning System.
Don't tell me. Dead parrots.
Well, indeed, no, sir, not dead. But the problem was that it was not possible to distinguish between parrots squawking at the approach of oncoming aircraft to parrots, well, squawking as parrots are generally prone to do.
Oh, never mind, Miss Prism. At least we have the flechette. Tell me, what's the collective parrots? Is it a battalion? It's a conspiracy of ravens, a murder of crows.
Oh, I believe it's a pandemonium, sir. A pandemonium of parrots.
Ah, is it really? I suppose I should have known that. Well, I think we can just about time to get off. Oh, Lord, who's that at this time, Miss Prism? You better go and find out, please.
Well, it's Mrs. Ayrton, sir. Mrs. Carter Ayrton. And she wants to show you her fan.
Well, of course she does. Why not? Anything's possible in this mad, mad world. If ending this bloody war. You better show her in. Ah, Lady Windermere, I presume. Sorry, Mrs. Sorry to say it, everyone. Please sit down and show me your fan.
Flapper!
I beg your pardon.
I'd like to show you my flapper fan, but I need to stand up to show it properly.
Oh, whatever you say. If it's lace and pearls, perhaps our eyeshadow-toting Romanian officers could use it to stop their mascara running. How do you like that, eh?
I think if I were a man, you wouldn't have made such a stupid comment. I am a scientist, and sex has no place in science.
Yes, in your case I can understand.
Either a woman is a good scientist, or she is not. In any case, she should be given opportunities, and her work should be studied from a scientific point of view. I am a good scientist, and my fan is powerful enough to blow a poisonous gas from the trenches. Shall I continue?
Oh, please do. Please do.
how effective they were is questionable. One general commented that they were worse than useless, though the handle, being made of wood, provided at times valuable emergency fuel.
Other audacious and extraordinary women managed to serve directly on the battlefield as doctors, nurses, ambulance drivers and cooks. A few made it to the front lines, even if they had to do it in disguise.
Look down at lonesome road before you travel on. Look up and seek your Maker, for Gabriel blows his horn. Weary toddling such a load, trudging down that lonesome road. Look down that road.
So, who's next? Ah, yes, the female prisoner. Now, gentlemen, we must keep our wits about us if we are not to be deceived. This next prisoner is a Miss Dorothy Lawrence, arrested for impersonating a soldier named Dennis Smith. Extraordinary. Quite extraordinary. All right, send her in. Private Dennis Smith?
No, sir.
No?
No, sir. Journalist Dorothy Lawrence.
Yes, of course, Miss Lawrence. Stand at ease. Oh no. Oh no, that won't do at all. Please sit down, Miss Lawrence. Now, my dear, you seem to have got yourself into a pretty pickle, haven't you? Would you like to tell us all about it?
What? All 25 of you officers? Well, as soon as war started, I tried to help. I volunteered 12 times for various forms of war work, but I was always refused. Too young, no nursing experience, female. So I'm quite a stubborn sort, and I was determined to get into the thick of it. So I thought to myself, let's see what an ordinary English gal can do. So I just set off.
Set off? Well, one doesn't just set off the war.
Well, I did, with nothing but a laundry bag and 2 and 6pence. And I got to the front.
But then you got caught.
Oh, I did not. I did not. I had to give myself up after 10 days because I became ill and started fainting.
Well, that doesn't matter. What does matter is why you wanted to get to the front and why are you dressed like that. I'm a German spy.
I am not a spy. I'm from Salisbury. And I've already been interrogated 12 times by people, your Secret Service agents, and they all concluded that I was not a spy.
Yes, I see. They were concerned that you wouldn't reveal who sent you that box of chocolates.
Actually, it's 2 boxes of chocolates. And no, I will not betray that gentleman, nor the officer who smuggled my bicycle into France, nor my band of khaki soldiers who helped me find my uniform. They hid me and fed me, cut my hair, and even bandaged me up.
Bandaged? Were you wounded? There's nothing in the files about you being wounded.
No, no. I meant the soldier who made me a corset out of bandages to flatten my assets.
Assets? Corsets? My God, this is intolerable.
Do you think so? I thought he did a very good job. He helped pad out my shoulders. He taught me to march. He gave me a shoe-polish tan, and he even shaved my cheeks to give me a shaving rash.
Oh, enough. I don't want to hear any more. Please sit down. So you're not a spy, and you're not a nurse. What then are you?
Well, I just wanted to follow the troops and be where they were.
Ah, a camp follower.
Oh, yes, if you like.
I most certainly do not like. I am an officer. And if you're a camp follower, why are you dressed like that?
Well, so no one would know I was a woman.
Well, doesn't that rather defeat the object of your profession?
What, journalism?
No, prostitution. Sorry, this is getting us nowhere. You're not a spy, you're not a woman of loose morals, then you must be a prisoner of war.
I am a journalist, and I intend to publish my experiences as soon as I get home.
We can't have that. Some foolish girl, some female desperado, pretending that she's breached military security.
Well, I did. I was in the front line trenches of the Somme for 10 days before I gave myself up. I have a story to tell, and I intend on telling it.
No, no, no. We might have hordes of women trying to do the same thing. And we can't have that. War is men's business. Even with those ghastly Romanian officers apparently wearing makeup. No, war is men's business. The battlefield is the last safe haven for men. And I intend to keep it that way. But what are we going to do with you? But first we must get you some suitable clothes.
Well, is khaki not suitable then in time of war?
Not the ladies, it's not. And despite everything you've done, you are a lady, and you will be treated as such. But I need to work out where we put you and what we do. Let me think. Nuns! Nuns! I order you to be sent to a convent. We'll see what the nuns can do with you. And you must sign an affidavit promising not to write at all about your experiences. Do you understand? Or else you will go to jail. So run along now, and don't look so upset. Wait a moment. Can you sew?
Yes.
Knit?
Yes.
Splendid. Then my advice to you, Miss Horace, is to go home and get married. You'll be fine.
I will not get married. I was born to be a spinster, and by God I'm going to spin.
But Dorothy wasn't able to do any of the things she wanted to. She finally arrived back in London to face homelessness, unemployment and secrecy. Upon arrival in Folkestone, she was required to sign an agreement for the Dora, forbidding her to relay her experiences. As a journalist who made a living by her pen, this was a disaster. She drafted a book in the months following her return, but burnt it in desperation shortly after. And when her book was finally published, it was poorly received. Her physical health went into decline due to septic poisoning contracted from dirty water in France, and her mental health suffered. So much so that in 1924 she was declared insane and committed to a mental hospital. She died there in 1964, and in the 40 years she was there, she never had a single visitor. She was buried in a pauper's grave and forgotten.
seen the little piggies crawling in the dirt? And for all the little piggies, life is getting worse.
Have you heard from your Ernest recently? I got a letter a couple of days ago. A lot of it was censored out, but he seems all right. Oh, well, you're still worried though. Oh, of course you are. Oh, I knew I had something to tell you. Did you hear about the Brocklesbury lad? Which one? Harry. Oh, I've always fancied him. No, indeed, no. Not Harry. He's gone to France to the summer, apparently. Summer? It can't still be summer in France. It's October. Oh, I don't know. Summer, sun, song, or something like that. Very funny. So, Philip? No, he's gone Harry. Well, I know for a fact it's not George, because he was declared unfit. He's helping me that recruit. So, Bert? Yes. He's only gone and become a Conchi. No. What? Bert Brocklesby? Teacher, choir master, preacher, all round Mr. Perfect. Never does anything wrong. Well, he has done now. Oh. Well, if I'd have known that, I'd have given him a white feather and said I had a conscientious objection to serving him last time he was in the shop. Oh, lazy so-and-so. He'll be lazing around with his hands in his pockets, while my Ernest, my dear Ernest, is fighting at the front. But, Brocklesby, you lazy pig! Oh, just like the nursery rhyme. Look, the children's nursery rhyme for 3 little piggies. And the Conchi is the one that goes squealing all the way home. Harry Brocklesby joined the army. Philip Brocklesby did the same. George Brocklesby had flat feet, so George Brocklesby missed the game. And Bert Brocklesby went wee, wee, wee all the way home.
You won't just go home, you know. Better to join your brothers. Fight.
No. No, I will not fight. God has not put me on this earth to go destroying his children.
But if you could save women and children by fighting, would you not help them?
I would do my best to save life, but not by taking life.
Conchi, traitor, you'll be tied to a gun carriage at night, stripped and left to freeze to death, unless you put on your uniform.
Well, I will not put it on.
Then you'll be sentenced to death for disobeying orders.
I won't do it, and that's that.
John Hubert Brocklesby, you have refused to obey orders. So you have been tried under the rules of a field general court-martial and found guilty and sentenced to death. However, it has been commuted to 10 years penal servitude. Brocklesby, you are lucky to be leaving this land of death and going home, but home for you will be a prison and many years of hard labour.
When this lousy war is over, oh, how happy I shall be. When I get my civic clothes on, no more soldiering for me. No more church parades on Sunday. No more asking for
a... Tipperary, to the sweetest girls I know. Goodbye, softly, farewell, Leicester Square. It's a long, long way to Tipperary, and my heart lies there. It's a long way to Tipperary, it's a long way to go. It's a long way to Tipperary, to the sweetest girls I know. Goodbye, softly, farewell, Leicester Square. It's a long, long way to Tipperary, and my heart lies there.
Hush, here comes a whiz, bang, and it's making straight for you. And you'll see all the wonders of no man's land if a whiz bang hits all you soldier men. Get down those stairs, down in your dugouts, and say your prayers. Hush, here comes a whiz, bang, and it's making straight for you. And you'll see all the wonders of no man's land if a whiz bang hits you.
Forward Joseph's army, marching without fear, with our brave commander safely in the rear. He boasts and skites from morn till night, and thinks he's very brave. But the men who really did the job are dead and in their grave. Forward Joseph's army, marching without fear, without brave.
Reminder of the awful wreckage of the war. The rest of the world was busy trying to heal itself and move on. The peacetime battles took place not in the fields of France, but in the corridors of Whitehall and the streets of London, as suffragettes resumed their fight for equal voting rights.
If the men should see the women going to the polls to put down the liquor traffic, need it vex their souls. If we're angels as they tell us, can we once suppose that all the men should frown on us when going to the polls? We love our boys, our household joys, we love our girls as well. The law of love is from above, against that we ne'er rebel.
I still think that women will always run the home, no matter what they try to change. I don't understand these young people today. Modern women wearing knickers and mascara, indeed.
There's no denying, Mabel, the world is a very different place from what it was 4 years ago. Now, about those knickers.
Roadway lies, and a song stirs in the silence as the wind in the boughs above. She listens and starts.
that is because of the shortcut through your edge into Pierre's. Pierre's a wimp. He deserves to be beaten. But then he always gets that Johnny Bull coming out.
Enough of this. Boris, your hands out of your pockets. Elgie, you may go. Quiet! As for the rest of you, your behaviour is disgusting. This squabbling has got to stop. I'm pleased to say I've been in contact with your parents, and they have agreed to confiscate all your toy soldiers. Furthermore, you will no longer be allowed to play with the ships in the bath.
That's not fair! What about Pierre and Johnny Bull?
Wolfgang, you seem to get a ring in this. You will no longer be allowed to see Lorraine. There are bad influences. I've also been in contact with your father, and he has agreed to give that Alsatian that you swagger about with after school to Pierre. Pierre has always wanted one.
What? My lovely hunt, my Attila! To Pierre? But Pierre's a pimp!
Enough! I've had so many complaints, even your father has admitted that you have turned that dog into a savage brute. I'm sure.
Oh, when they ask us how dangerous it was, oh, we'll never tell them. No, we'll never tell them. We spent our pay in some cafe. We fought wild women night and day. 'Twas the cushiest job we ever had. And when they ask us, and they're certainly going to ask us, the reason why we didn't win the quad again, oh, we'll never tell them. No, we'll never tell them. There was a front, but damned if we knew where. Oh, when they ask us, and they're certainly going to ask us, the reason why we didn't win the quad again, oh, we'll never tell them. No, we'll never tell them. There was a front, but damned if we knew where.
Gents and ladies, I hope you've enjoyed it. This is the third night, and it's the first one I've not quite managed to tear up. Thank you for the cast, lads. Thank you all for coming. This is the end of 4 years of commemoration for our group, and without the support of all of you and the cast of lads, we couldn't have done all this. And it's a task, had to be done. And I think that we made what we set out to do was a tribute to everybody that participated and fell in that war. The centrepiece here, created is the word, by Peter Davenport. And Peter is here. Stand up, Peter. As Peter's here, he may well explain what to you. I have to say he's a very interesting man. He's very difficult to stop. But you don't want him to once he starts. I'll put a board up here later on if you want to come and have a look. But that's the end of the show. Thank you so very much.
Just a quick few words on as chairman of GLADS. Dave said keep it short, sharp and simple, and Jan said that suited me very well. But I just wanted to say thank you for you as well, thank you for our audience, because we enjoy doing this. We all get together, we've got a wonderful choir, musicians, Ron and Fiona there working the lights and the sound for us, and we have a lot of pleasure at it. But if we hadn't got you guys here supporting us, we wouldn't be able to do it. So thank you very much to you, our audience.
Awesome.